So, hi everyone. Today we have an interview with Mark Wolfson. Mark, tell us about how you pick this direction.
Most of the people in my family played music, from my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister, so we all played, but none of them played professionally. And so I started getting into the production side of it, because I did play, and I do play, but I got in the production side of it to see what that was all about, and ended up being decent at it, and started learning. And once you're on a course, you start learning more and more, and you want to learn the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and next thing you know, I've got 40 years of production and experience. And then every once in a while I switch, so I'll go from making records to doing movies, and I'll do on camera, or I'll do composing, or and then I go back to records. And then we've been getting a lot, a couple of my partners, we've been getting into the internet more, webisodes and branding of artists, and I've got putting together a team of people to help artists that we work with, because you can get signed, you can get attention if you have the right following and it's real. There's a difference between getting millions of hits that you pay somebody for, and millions of hits because people actually want you, right? I was at an event, and there were people with 100,000, 500,000 fans and stuff, and there was this one girl who had like 3,000 fans. And she's small fry, just not a big deal. Everybody was coming up to her because her 3,000 were real 3,000. And she really had a connection with those people. Everybody else kind of had 100. You don't know where that came from, but she was real.
We sit here around your awards. It's
some of them.
Yeah.
That's all I could fit on this on the fireplace.
Yeah, because all other don't fit frame,
Yeah, they're all stacked in the bedroom in boxes because I don't know what to do with that. I'm not going to put them up yet. So.
Yeah. So what is your first movement? Who is your first artist?
Well, I ended up working on a lot of records as an engineer, and I worked on artists, Smokey Robinson. I did 2 albums for Smokey Robinson, and I worked with Natalie Cole. I did two big records for her, and then I did records for Kim Carnes, who was a big artist back then. We took a Smokey Robinson song, R&B song, and turned it into a rock song, and she was number 10 on the charts. Made it right at the charts with a R&B Smokey Robinson song that we did in a big rock way, and that worked out good. And then I worked with Talking Heads and did Stop Making Sense in '82, and here's Smokey. There he is, Smokey Robinson. Yeah, that went gold, and that was good. And then off and on, I've been working with lots of developing artists, and a lot of times there's many different reasons why an artist and an act doesn't happen, and it may not be because of the music. I've worked with many acts, so I thought this is going to be huge, and then something happened. The lead singer's girlfriend has a baby, and he decides to leave the band, or the management rips off the money, or the record company guy gets fired, and so when they signed them, once he left, nobody wanted to deal with them, or a million other contractual things that happen. And so it's like making a meal. If you screw up one little thing, the meal kind of is not right or doesn't happen, right? So you got to be it's very sensitive, very touchy. I spend more time dealing with the artist or the band and who they are and what they're about and what they expect and what they want out of this. And you have to temper egos and boost insecurity, right? So people are on an even level, and that's why the Rolling Stones are so big, because they just each found their own place to be comfortable, and between them they just work and they have a good time. And you find that with a lot of big artists, that have survived long periods of time. Sometimes managers bring me artists, sometimes artists come to me. Sometimes record labels call me. When I work with Ice-T, I did the title track to Colors, the film with Robert Duvall, right? And we did that, and we hit it off so well, I did 2 more albums with him, right? And from that manager, I got Stone Temple Pilots, because he managed them as well, and he liked what I did with Ice-T, so he handed me Stone Temple Pilots. And originally they were called Mighty Joe Young, and while I was with them, they changed their name to Stone Temple Pilots. So that was the growth pattern for them. You know,
it was my next question about Stone Temple Pilots. We see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's 8 million.
8 million.
Each one of those records is 1 million sales.
Oh yeah.
So it's 8 million.
Tell us about this story. What we do together? Maybe some interesting things.
While I was working with Ice-T, and I got a gold record somewhere on the wall there. I went to see a showcase, and the manager, Steve Stewart, took me to see the band. And I saw them and I met them, and we kind of hit it off, and he says, I'm putting you guys in the studio. And it turned out that Universal Republic paid for me to work with them. We finished doing the record. We did 8 songs. Not a full record, but 8 songs, kind of like really high-end demos. And a demo is a record that doesn't sell. Yeah. So it could be totally high quality. It just didn't find a home, right? So we did that, and Republic, for whatever reason, decided not to sign them, and then he took them to Atlantic. And Atlantic Records signed them, and of course this is Core, their first record, which is the biggest record they ever had. This is 8 times platinum. Their next record was 2 times platinum. So, you know.
So you also working with band as a music producer. Yeah, and
they go hand in hand. In the beginning, it ends up being a little bit of management, a lot of development, a lot of packaging, and a lot of production as well. And you kind of gotta, it all gets kind of mishmash together, because one minute you're sitting around having lunch and talking about, you know, what do you think of the name of the band, and yada yada. I worked with a band called School of Fish, and they did pretty good. They had 1 hit, and we sat around drinking a little bit with pads of paper, and we all sat around and wrote all down every good name, stupid, anything we could think of. And we went around and talked about each of the names, and we laughed. I mean, it was an all-night thing. And we came up with this School of Fish, and the main guy in the band had, while we were talking about the School of Fish thing and all that, he drew a martini glass with a guitar stirrer in it and a little fish swimming around in there. And that became their logo. And I still have the cassette, the original cassette that he drew and handed me and said, this is what I think that's going to look like. So, you know, there's development happens at different places and different times within the process of making records or prepping for a live show or whatever. It's all the same. It's all hand in hand. Because now it's videos and YouTube and things like that. So I work in entertainment. Because it goes everywhere. And even little things you do in the studio. When you were in the studio with us, with Moke and those guys, you know, we were shooting little things that we're going to put up on YouTube. And you worked on the video with us for Yamaha, right? And that Moke and I and Zadrina produced. She's off camera, by the way. She's
Hi.
Hi. And we produced a video, promo video for Yamaha, which you ended up editing and working on, and we had fun, right?
Yeah.
It was a fun thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and that's kind of the way we work. You know, you live there, so you want to laugh, you want to have a good time, you want to eat well, you want to be part of a fun day of work, and it's just not work anymore once you do it like that, you know.